big banks got a windfall. So as we rebuild, we're going to ask big financial institutions to pay a little back to pay a little more.
Justin Trudeau's attempt to tax Canada's way into prosperity. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. Thursday's budget means two things, really. More spending, more taxing. It's a tax and spend liberal budget, after all, an NDP budget, if you will. But as I watch what the Trudeau Liberals are moving towards, I'm reminded of that famous line by Sir Winston Churchill, who put it this way when it came to trying to tax your way into prosperity. He simply said, it wouldn't work, and I quote, "For a nation to try and tax itself into prosperity is like a man standing in a bucket and trying to lift himself up by the handle." Now, most people hear that quote, they read it, they think, that's a warning. Don't try and tax your way into prosperity, it won't work. Justin Trudeau, he heard that line, he sees it as a challenge, which is why Thursday's budget is going to have a couple of big tax elements to it. Now, he's going to say it's about making the wealthy pay their fair share, but really, it's about going after pensioners and people saving for their retirement. Why? Because he's going to put two different taxes on Canada's banks and insurance companies, two major elements of most Canadians' retirement plans. Doesn't matter whether you're in a work pension plan, the Canada Pension Plan, or even just using RRSPs. Banks and insurance companies are major parts of most Canadians' portfolios. And these taxes, a 3% surtax on corporate tax for banks and insurance companies, but also what's called the Canada Recovery Dividend, another extra tax that they haven't described yet, well, that's going to go on top of it. None of this makes sense from an economic point of view because we're taking two of our most successful industries and trying to tax them into oblivion. Now, Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh, his new parliamentary coalition partner, will say, well, this is about making the people at the top pay their fair share. I'm sorry, Canada is not a big enough country to have tons of wealthy people or corporations to tax our way to prosperity. We don't have a bunch of Russian oligarchs running around. But that's what Trudeau continues to go after. In 2015, he promised to pay for a middle-class tax cut by taxing the wealthy. It didn't work out. He didn't bring in as much money as he promised. Why? Not enough rich people in Canada. Now he wants to do it on the corporate side. He's also talking about luxury taxes on nice cars or boats or private planes. We don't have enough of that in Canada, but he will tell you we do. Instead, we've got successful companies that Canadians themselves have invested in as part of their retirement plan, which is why Scotiabank CEO Brian Porter laid this out, that this is really just a tax on shareholders and people saving for their retirement. Let me quote him here. "It is ultimately a tax on you, our shareholders, approximately 70% of whom are Canadian. It's a tax on those who directly own our shares or participate through pension plans or mutual funds, index funds, or ETFs. That's a good chunk of the Canadian middle class and those working hard to join it. But Trudeau wants you to make you think that he and Jagmeet Singh are going after the wealthy. No, they're going after you. They're going after your pension. They're going after your parents' retirement savings. That is what this is all about. I'm sorry, like Winston Churchill said, you cannot tax your way to prosperity. Justin Trudeau is going to try. He's going to fail miserably, and the rest of us are going to pay for it. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below, share this on social media, and of course, subscribe to our channel.